Yeah, rivals, it's a dangerous guy because it's a boxing. One punch, go home. This is dangerous, man. I know. But.
So therefore, the only way, if anyone is to beat him, is by knockout. And this isn't Floyd Mayweather boxing at 147 pounds and probably being in the ring at 155, maybe something like that. This is Oleksandr Usyk.
For number 2 in these defenses.
Yeah.
Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time 1. Dubois number 2. He's taken like, all right, who's the next in line? All right, I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
Floyd Mayweather thinks fans are too quick to call new fighters legends without seeing the full picture. He questions whether Oleksandr Usyk really deserves all the praise he's getting. Floyd always reminds people that he is the greatest. He says no fighter before or after him, including Usyk, is better. While many fans say Usyk is one of the best ever, Floyd doesn't agree. He admits Usyk has talent, but believes his own career was far greater. Floyd retired undefeated, won in many weight classes, and ruled the sport for years. He also says Usyk's opponents weren't as tough as the ones he fought. To Floyd, Usyk is overrated and nowhere close to him in skill, achievements, or greatness.
Terry, don't be afraid.
Well, good evening. Hope you're enjoying our Monday night football coverage. Oleksandr Usyk, not a bad striker in his time. Thierry and Jamie are in studio. If you were fighting Thierry Henry, how would you get inside of his head?
Yeah, Terry is great player, but hey, Terry, my legs be better with you. Terry, don't be afraid. My legs better.
What'd you make of that?
Sometimes you have to stay in your lane, and I will stay in my lane.
Critics like Showbiz the Adult push back on the hype around Usyk. Many people call Usyk an all-time great for doing well in the heavyweight division, but Showbiz questions if his opponents were strong enough for that title. His main point is that if Usyk beat fighters who weren't at their best or weren't top level, then his wins don't mean as much. Aside from Tyson Fury, most of Usyk's opponents weren't legends. That makes it hard to compare Usyk to greats like Muhammad Ali or Evander Holyfield.
From Usyk that he's got 2 more fights in the bag at this point, that you reckon, yeah?
I interviewed him before. I sat down with him and had a chat with him before the Dubois fight. And yeah, he was just like, I've got 2 fights left.
So he's never fought in the Ukraine. He's never fought in his home country, or defended his title, I should say. So that's got to be on his wish list.
I would imagine so, but with what's going on in this country, which is just a disgrace. It's still going on. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Anytime soon, no. But hopefully we'll get some peace there, and then maybe you will get
that. I'd love to, yeah. I'd love to see peace in his country and for him and his family. And that would be an amazing event.
Some analysts say Usyk's skills are better seen in pound-for-pound rankings instead of heavyweight history. They think he's amazing at footwork, defense, and boxing intelligence, making him a modern-day great. But they stop short of calling him a legend. They believe Usyk's greatness comes from his style and brain, not from beating legendary fighters. So while he's one of the best boxers today, calling him one of the greatest ever is still up for debate.
My gut feeling is that Joseph Parker fights the WBO belt, but he doesn't fight Oleksandr Usyk. He fights the next man up. I haven't got the list in front of me, so I don't know the rankings. So I guess if you're Joseph Parker, the question is, I mean, what is it you want? Ultimately, if you want a world title shot and you think you've been blackballed from getting a world title shot or pushed to the back, then, well, here it is. Here's your world title shot. You're going to fight for a world title, right? But if you're Joseph Parker, and I spoke to Andy Lee, it isn't just a case of fighting for a world title. You want to fight the number 1 for the world title, and that guy is Oleksandr Usyk. I would have given Joseph Parker the mic. And I would like Joseph Parker, because there's a mean side to Joseph Parker. I think everyone sees the friendly side. I've seen the mean side. And I wanted Joseph Parker to say, I want my shot. You've been ducking me. All these things might not be true, but do it. Sell it. The crowd would have gone a bit wild, right? Because I think a lot of the crowd want Joseph Parker to get his shot. But that's not what happened.
Critics also say that Usyk's wins might be more about his opponents making mistakes than him being unbeatable. Some of them fought him more than once and still couldn't figure him out. Analysts suggest fighters like Michael Hunter or Joe Joyce, who use better strategy and movement, might have done better. The truth is, very few heavyweights train to match Usyk's timing and footwork. Most of his opponents didn't have a solid plan and made his job easier.
I know a goal of yours is to go to heavyweight. You're giving me a little smirk. Like, is that like a dream scenario for you to fight one of those 2 guys?
I would love to fight Usyk, respectfully. I've always been so close to him, you know what I mean? Like, I was But I was 16 years old. I qualified for the Olympics. I competed at 17, little kid, and he won that Olympic Games. Like, I've always been there, you know what I mean? I've always just been, it wasn't my time yet, you know, but I feel like my time's coming.
Showbiz also says it's too early to compare Usyk with legends like Muhammad Ali and Holyfield. He argues that Usyk hasn't fought the same level of competition. The greatest fighters ever are remembered not just for their talent, but for beating other greats. According to Showbiz, even Usyk's top 5 wins wouldn't make it into Ali or Holyfield's top 5. This shows the big difference between being great in your era and being great in all eras.
Him is by knockout. And this isn't Floyd Mayweather boxing at 147 pounds and probably being in the ring at 155, maybe something like that. This is Oleksandr Usyk, who is fighting big men, sometimes giving up 40-pound weight advantages. And unfortunately, that does mean that if Oleksandr Usyk goes on for 4, 5, 6 more fights, of course, he is going to be defeated, in my opinion. But I would love that to not be the case. I would love it to not be the case. What I would love to be the case right now, as a boxing fan, is Oleksandr Usyk to walk off into the sunset. I think he's proven everything that he could possibly prove. And there's been debates, and especially I remember after the first few Joshua fights, there were debates over sort of Oleksandr Usyk's status compared to Evander Holyfield.
When Daniel Dubois fought Usyk, people expected a tough fight. But after the match, analysts found big problems in Dubois' performance. He had bad footwork, didn't move his head, and couldn't keep pressure on Usyk. That made people wonder, was Usyk really that good, or was Dubois just not prepared? Usyk clearly won, but some think it was more about Dubois doing poorly than Usyk showing his best.
Debates over sort of Oleksandr Usyk's status compared to Evander Holyfield. Listen, that argument, a lot of people wanted to rubbish that at first. That argument is a real argument that can be made now, because when you look at what Oleksandr Usyk's done, remember Evander Holyfield was in a cruiserweight division that I'm not going to say was in its infancy, but it wasn't, it wasn't the cruiserweight division that Oleksandr Usyk was in. The cruiserweight division that Oleksandr Usyk was in, I believe, was a more stacked, more competitive cruiserweight division. And the way Usyk left that division, he left it by cleaning it out. The World Boxing Super Series tournament was something that actually got the best fighting the best and got the best names coming into it and entering. And we weren't really seeing that at the time.
Famous trainer Teddy Atlas gave a tough review of Dubois' performance. He said Dubois didn't change his tactics even after feeling Usyk's power and movement. Atlas was most critical of Dubois not throwing body punches and not having a proper game plan. He said Dubois treated the fight like a normal match, not a smart strategy battle. This made it easy for Usyk to control the fight with angles and timing. Atlas believes most of Usyk's opponents just aren't ready for his smart style.
I think Floyd is one of the worst fighters ever. That's my hot take on Floyd. Now let me stop trolling. Now that I got y'all baited in. I think we always say like, oh, how great Floyd is. But when you really sit there and think about it, Floyd was really special. Like, when we talk about generational, it's going to be a very, very, very long time till we see Floyd. Like, Pernell was great. He was a great defensive wizard. Pernell trapped himself a lot. He was able to find himself out of his own traps. Pernell would give up outside lead foot position to a lot of big punchers, and he was still able to be elusive and get away. That's impressive. Floyd would sit on the ropes against guys like Canelo, Pacquiao, De La Hoya, Cotto, and either evade every shot or get away. Generation, like Floyd is crazy. He's not my favorite fighter. He's far from my favorite, but I think he's the best pound for pound fighter of all time. I don't think there's much debate for it. Did Floyd fight everybody he was supposed to? No, we got to be honest. He just didn't. Most people don't. Did Floyd fight everybody at their best? No, that's impossible. Was Floyd the most slippery, defensively sound, technical boxers of all time? Hell yeah. Like I said, I'm not the hugest Floyd fan, but I just sit here watch him dominate my boy Canelo. You guys know Canelo, he's one of my favorite, but God, Floyd, different type of boxer, We hated him when he was here. I kind of miss Floyd now.
Usyk's win over Dubois impressed many experts. Becoming a 3-time undisputed champion is a big achievement and shows his skill. He beats opponents using accuracy, not power. That's become his signature. But even with all his success, people still say he's not on the same level as Muhammad Ali. Ali had a huge cultural impact, fought better opponents, and had legendary fights. Usyk might be great for today's time, but Ali is in a class of his own.
Up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure, because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, you know, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. You know, Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age or whatnot, you know? So you know, you could get where all of a sudden, you know, it's not there on the night. So, and you know, you had
heavyweights takes 1 second. One split second, you're off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second, you know, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But, you know, Usyk, you know, flawless performance technically, you know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides that weak side, slides that weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully, you know, and Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because you start backing him up, you start putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois. I don't know, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you could have got up. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize, like, I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
But Paulie, he was a beaten man before the first knockdown. You saw his spirit leave his body. Not as if he's dying. I mean, his fighting spirit just completely leave his body. And we've seen that before. It happened the last time. And a lot of people were asking me during fight week, they're like, hey, man, Dubois looks really good. What do you think? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Boxing fans still debate who would win in a dream fight between Usyk and Muhammad Ali. Surprisingly, some think Usyk could give Ali serious problems. They say his southpaw stance, smart movements, and sharp timing might confuse even a prime Ali. This shows how much people respect Usyk's boxing brain. But others say Ali's ability to adjust and his fighting heart would wear Usyk down in the later rounds. Their different styles make this a fun what-if conversation.
Turki Alalshikh might be the only billionaire I truly like. Don't get me wrong, if you're a billionaire, you're probably hiding some pretty shady stuff, not gonna lie. But this dude is a G. If you know, you know. This guy is a huge combat sports fan. Mostly boxing. This guy does everything he can to try and create the best boxing events in the world. Dude uses his money for the power of good by creating the most testosterone, aura-filled boxing matches imaginable. And after, it seems like forever, months, maybe even years of him trying to get Canelo Alvarez to fight Terrence Crawford, he finally penciled it in. He got it done a couple months ago. Here's why I'm making this video. Turki Alalshikh, I fucking love this guy. If either one of these two guys win by knockout, he's going to give out a huge bonus to him. It's important to note that this isn't going to be like a $50,000 bonus that they have in the UFC. We're talking Saudi oil money. Expect millions and millions of dollars. This is a quote by him. We will not have Tom and Jerry fights anymore. We will have in this fight and in our next fights a bonus for a KO. Thank God. The biggest reason why I'm more of an MMA fan and even a bare knuckle fan than boxing is because I'm tired of the dancing. 12 rounds of just dancing. It literally puts you to sleep. And the last boxing event I paid for, I don't even remember the dude's freaking name. It was the last guy I think Canelo Alvarez fought. I don't even care to know his name. All the dude did was dance around for 12 rounds just to lose. He didn't do anything. It was one of the worst fights ever. Everybody thought they got scammed because they had to pay money for that. Even Turki Alalshikh was pissed. You can see it because he's done with this crap. He's done. He's finally putting an end to this. He's going to be giving out probably $1 million bonuses for every time somebody gets knocked out. Thank God. All right? Now I'm actually excited for this fight.
People comparing Ali and Usyk also point out they have similar height, weight, and and fight with speed and footwork, not just power. Both changed what it means to be a heavyweight boxer. Ali's jab and side movement changed the game in the 60s. Now Usyk is doing the same with his footwork and control. That's why people link them. Legendary heavyweight Lennox Lewis also gave his opinion. He said he could have beaten Usyk if they fought in the same era. Lewis thinks today's heavyweights can't handle Usyk because they can't stop his rhythm or slow him down. He believes the key is using size smartly, cutting off the ring, and going to the body early, things Lewis was great at. His comments show that today's fighters may lack strategy. He says Usyk can be beaten with the right plan. Whether he's right or not, it gives us a smart look at how heavyweight boxing has changed.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, you can forget good, he's amazing. Yeah, he's great, he's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where he's due. Yeah. He is that guy.